So synthetic division is an alternative to using long division, because long division kind of stinks sometimes, right? When you have to do a lot of multiplying and subtracting and then remultiplying, resubtracting, it gets to be very tedious and it gets to be kind of a pain. Now, when you are given something that looks like this, when you are dividing by something that is just an x plus or x minus one term, you can use something called synthetic division. And synthetic division is really, really nice because it is a process that we can just use over and over and over again. And it requires you to multiply and to add, and that is it. So it's a really, really nice process. And as long as you understand how it works, then you're fine. Okay. So step one is to write coefficients from the big term. So this one is the big term. Again, I can't remember if that's the divisor or the dividend. I could probably look it up, but I don't remember. This one right here is what you're writing. So write the coefficients. And when I say write coefficients, again, this is, we have to do all degrees. So if we are missing an x squared term, or if we're missing an x term, or if we're missing an x to the fifth term, if whatever you use, you have to plug it in, including zeros. So my terms for this one are going to be 5, -2, -4, and +4. Now what I'm writing is I'm writing the coefficients from the terms here. So this is my x to the third term, this is my x squared term, this is my x term, and this is my constant term. This stuff up here in red is not necessary. You don't have to write that down. I'm only writing it there for your understanding as you look back up at the screen. But this is 5x to the third, -2x squared, -4x, and then 4. Okay? Now, the next step with synthetic division is you do the same kind of box that you did before, but you're going to do it upside down, and you're going to leave a gap in between here for these. Okay? So you're going to leave a gap in between here. Then step 2, you are going to divide by whatever this term is. So what you need to do though is you need to divide by, and then I'm going to put in here x plus 3 equals 0, because now when you solve for x, you are going to solve for x, and this is what you're going to divide by. So x plus 3 equals 0, and the reason you're going to divide by the opposite is because this thing right here is a factor, and it is not the actual solution. We are going to divide by the solution, or the 0 of what you are using here. So the easiest way to find the solution is to just put x plus, or whatever this is, equals 0, and then solve for x. So I'm going to divide by -3, not +3. If you want to, you can just think of this as opposite. So you're going to divide by the opposite. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're just going to process this whole thing over and over and over again. So I'm just going to keep repeating myself, in all honesty. Everything that I say from this point on is pretty much going to be a repeat. Okay? So what you're going to do is you are going to drop the 5 down. So step 3 would be to drop. So you're going to drop the 5 down to right here. Step 4 is going to be to multiply. So this number times this number. And then that multiplication is going to be written right there. So -3 times 5 is -15. And then step 5 will be to add. And you're going to add vertically right here. So -2 plus -15 will give me -17. And then step 6 is repeat. Okay? And you're always going to repeat with that number in the front. So you're always going to use this number, but we are going to multiply. this number times this number, and that's going to get moved up here. Negative 3 times negative 17 is positive 51. And then you're going to add down here. Negative 4 plus 51 is positive 47. And then you're going to do the same thing. Multiply. This number times this number. And then you're going to move that up here. Negative 3 times 47 will be 141, I think. Negative 141. And then you're going to add down here, so that would be negative 137. And now there's nothing else to do, so technically we're done, we just have to fine tune it. So I'm going to repeat again exactly what I just did. Drop the 5 down. Multiply negative 3 times 5, which gives us negative 15. Add negative 2 plus negative 15 to get negative 17. Multiply negative 3 times negative 17 to get positive 51. Add negative 4 plus 51 gives me 47. Multiply negative 3 times 47 to get negative 141. Add the 4 plus negative 141 equals negative 137. Now, the way that you'll write your answer for this is you look up at the highest degree and you drop the degree down 1. So the highest degree was x to the third. I am now going to drop the x to the third to x to the second. So x to the third was the highest degree. Now I'm going to drop my highest degree to x to the second. And then these are my coefficients for that. So 5x squared minus 17x plus 47. And now since I'm out of terms, this number right here is my remainder. And you're going to do the same exact thing that you did before. This is the remainder. So I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did before, put a big plus sign, and then put your remainder over what you originally divided by at the very beginning. This is the thing that we're dividing by, x plus 3. And this is my final answer. Any questions that you guys can think about as we sit here right now? I'm going to give you another one, and I want you to try it on your own. Okay? So I'm going to give you another one of these, and I want you to try it and see where you come up with. Make sure that you can do it. Okay? I'm going to give you one that is technically a trick, but it's not a trick because I'm going to tell you what you have to do with it. But with this question, remember, inside the box, you put all of your coefficients. See how x to the third does not show up in here. Your coefficients should be 3, 0, negative 1, 6, and then there is no constant term. You have to put the constant term in there as well. So you have to put your zeros in there, okay? So in this one, you have to put zeros for x to the third and for the constant. So I want you guys to try this on your own, see where you get. In a couple minutes, I will put up or I guess in 30 seconds or a minute, I'll put up the start of the problem. So you should be trying that on your own right now, and then I will put up the start of that problem, okay? So if you're stuck on where to start, write your coefficients down first. So you have 3 for the x to the fourth, you have 0 for x to the third, you have negative 1 for x squared, you have 6 for x, and you have 0 for a constant. This 0 is one that people forget a lot. Then you put your box, and then we solve x minus 3 equals 0. So we find 3. 3 is the number that goes out here, and this should start your process for synthetic division. So then we just complete our steps. First things first, we drop this 3 down. That comes down here. Then we are going to multiply the number on the outside and that number down here. 3 times 3 is 9. That gets moved up to right here. Now we're going to add 0 plus 9 is 9. Now we are going to repeat our process. 3 times 9 is 27. And then we add negative 1 plus 27 is 26. And then we repeat our process again. 3 times times positive 26 is, oh geez, I don't know, 78? I hope. 6 plus 78 is 84. And now we do our last one. 3 times 84, I think that's 252. And then we add, and we get 252. So our highest degree was x to the fourth. Now our highest degree is going to be x to the third. X to the fourth gets dropped down 1, because technically we're dividing x to the fourth by x. So if we're dividing x to the fourth by x, that becomes x to the third. So 3x to the third plus 9x squared plus 26x plus 84. And now we have our remainder. So big plus sign, no matter if this is positive or negative, big plus sign, 252 over the thing that we originally divided by, which was x minus 3. And this is our answer. Any questions that you guys can think of? Okay, so I will stop my recording.